If you're like most, you've heard of radon, and you're wondering, what exactly is radon? Well, let's find out. In this short video, we'll discuss what radon is, the basics, what radon has to do with uranium, what radioactive actually means, why you should care about all that, and how you can find out what your radon levels are. So basically, radon is a cancer-causing radioactive soil gas. You can't see, smell, or taste radon, but it might be a problem in your home. So radon is an element on the periodic table. It's a noble gas and a radioactive gas. It actually comes from the natural decay of uranium located throughout the Earth's crust. And I read an estimate that said in the first 6 feet of dirt on a given acre of ground, they estimate there's something like 30 to 50 pounds of uranium. Because radon's a gas, it moves up through the ground into the air above. And when this happens outside, it dissipates into the atmosphere to a very low sort of background level. And so what does radon have to do with uranium? Well, uranium decays through its decay chain over a very long time. And as it radioactively decays, it changes what element it is, eventually becoming radon. And we talk about radon rather than the other steps in the process because radon's a gas and it escapes from the ground where it can become a hazard for us. And so what exactly is radiation? Radiation's when an atom that throws off energy in the form of particles or waves. Radon actually emits a form of radiation called alpha radiation or alpha particles. And per unit of energy, alpha particles are around 20 times more damaging to cells than X-rays. And that cell damage is often what causes cancer. And so radon has a half-life of 3.8 days. Simply means that if you had a given amount of radon in an area, after 3.5 days, half of it would have decayed into other radioactive elements. And when it decays into a series of radioactive solids. Because it's a gas turning into solids, it basically makes very small particles, or like dust. And those are called radon progeny. Those radioactive progeny are radioactive, and they actually are the cause of most of the damage in your body due to your exposure to radon. Because they're solids, they get lodged into our lungs, and they emit radiation directly into our lungs. And so this is a picture of what they call a cloud chamber, and they've injected radon gas into it. What a cloud chamber does is it actually shows the energy emissions of radioactive decay. So those are energy particles shooting out of radon as it decays and radon progeny as they decay. And that's essentially what radon's doing in the air of your house and in your lungs. We just can't see it. So those are radioactive particles that shoot out and have the opportunity to damage the DNA of your cells. And so your lungs, they're lined by a type of cells that are actually hypersensitive to ionizing radiation, such as alpha particles. And as radon decays into the radon progeny, each of those decays that follow for several also emit alpha radiation. But those decays happen in rapid succession. They don't have a half-life of 3.8 days, they have a half-life of seconds. And so, after radon decays and moves down the decay chain, within a minute, there could be several more discharges of alpha particle radiation, which of course can and does happen inside our lungs when we're breathing radon. So why should you care about that? Well, long-term exposure to all that energy in our lungs from radon increases your chances of getting lung cancer. And even among cancers, lung cancer is a bad diagnosis. The research shows that lung cancer has the lowest survival rate of the 10 most common cancers. In fact, the EPA estimates that over 21,000 people die each year from lung cancer caused by radon exposure in the US alone. And that amounts to over 50 people every single day die because of their exposure to radon. And so how can you find out your radon levels? Well, there's really two ways. One way you can get a kit, a test kit from the store, or you could have a company like ours come out and do a professional radon test. The kits are widely available. You can get one off Amazon or from the hardware store for about $15. You can get a similar kit from the extension office, county extension office, when they have them, typically around $10. You could also request that same sort of kit from us for only $5. You might wonder why we would do that. And there's really two reasons. One, we believe that everybody should find out what their radon levels are, and $10 extra cost of a kit, if that's standing in the way, then we'd like to remove that barrier. We buy them in bulk and we can pass that savings on to you. Secondarily, if you have a good experience with us and getting your radon test and finding out your radon levels, that you'll at least give us a chance to fix your high radon if you have high radon, but there's no obligation there. And last but not least, we talked about you can get a radon test with a machine, a continuous radon monitor. Those tests are good tests. You get your results a little bit faster and you get a little more information in the test results and the report. That said, they do cost 5 to 10 times as much as doing a test at home with a kit. So if you're in a real estate transaction or you're in a big hurry, you probably want to get a test with the continuous radon monitor from a local company. If you're not, then a test kit is probably a good option. So if you have any questions about radon, could be about radon in general, radon testing, how to fix high radon, possibly you already have radon results and you'd just like to discuss those with somebody, we'd be glad to answer your questions. You can give us a call there at 316-330-3306 or contact us through our website. And if you'd like to request a $5 test kit, you can click the link below this video. You can visit the URL there on the screen or call that same phone number. We'd be glad to get one sent out to you. But either way, we'd love to answer your questions and help you out in any way that we can. Thanks.